Any economy's backbone is made up of banks. What if I told you that any bank had the authority to generate money out of nothing? You could theoretically open a bank and begin making money, but there is a simpler approach. Why build a bank with such a huge sum of money, when you can establish a cryptocurrency? That's why there are so many people trying to replace conventional banks, which is a centralized system. Welcome to Wealthy Wisely channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at 5 things that banks don't want us to know. As Henry Ford said, it is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. If you're ready, let's get started. 1. Growing money in a bank is a lie. Let me ask you this. How much interest would you be given if you put your money in a bank? There are some banks that offer special rates, but they are still below 1% since interest rates are at an all-time low. While inflation is currently at around 2.5%, your savings will increase by about 0.5%. That means your purchasing power is decreasing every year. And when inflation is surging, asset prices such as houses, land, and stocks will increase massively, as we have seen in the past. A bank is a safe place to keep your money, but it is not a place to grow money. 2. Banks can create money out of nothing. If I told you that banks create money, you probably wouldn't believe me because the only institution with access to the money printing machine should be the only one that can do it. The banking system, on the other hand, is set up in such a way that every bank in the nation, and even the world, is allowed to generate money to a certain degree depending on the quantity of money that individuals have put in the bank. Now let's assume you put $1,000 in a bank. What do you suppose that bank will do with all that cash? It gives nothing to hold it. They would be unable to pay you that 0.5% saving interest. So, the bank takes your money and gives it to someone else who wants to purchase things like a car or a house and charges them interest, which is frequently considerably greater than the 0.5% the bank promises to give you. The average credit card interest rate is 20%. That's tens of times more than the bank will give you as saving interest rate. When you check your account, the bank will show you that your money is still available. You always have right to withdraw it at any time. So, if your money is still in the bank, where did the money that the bank lends to others come from? Fractional reserve banking is the term for this. Banks are permitted to retain 10% of deposits and lend the remainder. The bank produces another $900 and lends it to someone else for every $1,000 you put in, bringing the total sum to $1,900. The bank created $900 from thin air. Because they're only in the computer, it's not as tough as you may imagine. 3. Borrowing money from banks and investing it elsewhere is a way to make money. Mark Zuckerberg got $6 million for his house in Palo Alto in July 2012, with a 30-year mortgage. The place is really just 3 miles from Facebook's headquarters. He was 28 years old at the time, and the world's 40th richest person, with a net worth of $15.6 billion. Why would you get into debt when you have billions of dollars and can simply pay them off? With that kind of money, he could easily buy a dozen, $6 million homes in cash without batting an eye. So why get a mortgage? It's free cash. Seems crazy, right? Who would give you free money when you're already a billionaire? Why would someone give away free money to someone else? It's all about the interest rates. Remember, when we talked about banks giving such a low ROI or return on investment, that it's not worth keeping your money there since it doesn't even beat inflation. So you're losing money. Well, in this scenario, it's the other way around. The inflation rate in the US is around 2.5 to 3%. Any money you may borrow that is less than the rate of inflation is referred to as free money. The mortgage rate that Zuckerberg was given was a little over 1%. The banks are now the losers. Of course, when dealing with little amount of cash, it might not make that much sense because the difference isn't so significant. But when it comes to huge amount, a fraction of 8% might equal tens of thousands of dollars, or possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. 4. The wealthier you are, the lower the rates the bank will give you. Banks are not charitable enterprises, rather, they are for-profit corporations with the purpose of maximizing profits. And if their business model isn't successful, they won't be able to stay in business. That's why they'd rather lend money to a rich person than a poor person. If you are rich, the banks will not have to worry if the given loan would be defaulted. As a result, lending you money is nearly risk-free. Throughout the ages, the banking system has matured to the point where banks would only work with people who have money and assets that generate income on a consistent basis, as opposed to an ordinary employee who may become sick, be unable to work, or simply lose his job. It's simple to point the blame at banks for this, but consider this. Would you be comfortable lending money to a buddy who barely gets by? If you want lower mortgage rates, lower credit card rates, or simply better conditions when borrowing money, you must perform better financially. Banks also provide such a cheap mortgage rate in order to build a good connection with wealthy individuals so that when they need a larger loan for their business, they may come to them. 5. Credit cards are banks' source of income. 70% of Americans who have credit card debt believe they won't be able to pay it off this year. Consider what that means for a moment. Your debt on your credit card is not the same as a mortgage. It's not like a 3.5%, but it's about 20% if you couldn't pay the bill on time. And that's how banks make their fortune. Because most individuals spend without realizing how they'll pay back their debts. They're used to their lifestyle that sometimes they just can't afford it. This is why banks are constantly contacting you to try to offer you a new credit card. While carefully using credit cards might help you improve your credit score, you should avoid getting yourself into debt if you aren't fully capable. Now, we have come to the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. As always, thanks for watching.